Glitchers, my name is Megan and joining me today is...
Hello, I'm Miranda.
We're from Media Glitch and we review the good, the bad, and the glitchy of any video game so that way you don't have to...
waste your time.
Waste your time, waste your money, because you only want to play the good stuff.
That's right, earn your money too.
So, if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button so that way you know when we are uploading videos. You also want to hit that bell so that way you also get double notified.
Get notified of us. You can follow us on Twitch because we play a lot of video games.
Yeah, you can see us play these same video games that we review. So let's get into it. Today we are taking a look at Hands of Fate 2, not 1, but 2, and it is put out by Defiant Development as the publishers and the developers, and I'm so excited to let you guys take a look at this game. It's tabletop and video games meet on this game. So when you first start, you start with the dealer. He's kind of the narrator of this entire adventure, and you're kind of an unknown character. The whole game is like a tabletop game. You have cards, you have moving tokens, you have card decks, kind of like a Magic the Gathering. I mean, there's so much to this game that felt like an RPG, a video game, and a tabletop game. Oh, I really love the fact that this game has such high replayability. Because each time you go through a challenge, you're going through all these cards, you complete the challenge, you get more cards to put into your deck. And then not only is there cards, there's dice, there's a wheel of fate that comes out. But it's really cool because here's where the video game comes into play. You have combat. So it's not just flipping over cards and hoping you're gonna be lucky on this one challenge. So here you get some cards. I completed the challenge and then I completed a bunch of smaller challenges inside this challenge, and I got almost 50 cards on this one playthrough. Wait a minute, so the challenge you start with cards and it throws you into combat? What's going on? So what goes on is when you're going through the cards, they'll flip over and it might be like you came across a damsel who is in distress, and then you get choices on if you're going to help her. You roll the dice just like you would in a tabletop like RPG. Fair enough. And then some of them will go, you flip it over and it's, oh, you got attacked by thieves. So it throws you into the combat. So that way you can actually like, it's not just sitting down and just flipping over a bunch of cards. So the conflicts can be multifaceted. It's not always just fighting combat, it's also card games and choices. And depending on your choices, it definitely changes how the gameplay is going to be. So villagers, if you come across like a villager card, they're gonna treat you differently if you sold them out 3 cards on the board. That's pretty cool. That's what the replayability I loved about it, was that you could sit there and you can change how your cards fall on the table, and it is definitely a luck-based game. So it's not, I went through so many of the missions or challenges and failed them horribly because I did not get the right cards. So it's definitely Hand of Fate. But let's take a look at the cards when they break up the combat. This was something that I thought might have been like a downfall to the game, since the cards and the tabletop was really strong. I thought that the combat was going to be a little bit lacking. It wasn't anything like Dark Souls or Bloodborne or anything really intense, but it definitely was skill-based. So you kind of had to have luck and skill. You only have just a few attacks, but as you're attacking, they're attacking, and there's a split second where you defend. So you can't just hold your shield up and be like, I'm wait for it. Yeah. Because your character will lower the shield after you let go. So you have to time it just right. Some enemies you have to use certain attacks on to bash off their armor. There's a lot at risk if you don't time things right, you're going to die, and then the whole challenge is nulled. So you have to start completely over. But to help you out in these combats, you do have companions that you get as you go through these challenges. They'll become part of the story. They have their own set of cards that you can get throughout it, and they can help you, they can heal you. Some of them are, like this one was a Nord, so he had a rush on his attack. So I mean, the combat is really great. I actually had a lot of fun when I got to the combat. It was challenging, but it wasn't anything that you were going to have like fighting combat games, like really high skill level at.
Fair enough.
So if you are a really big fan of Magic the Gathering, Dungeons and Dragons, and then any kind of video game RPG, this is an excellent game to have. The replay.
They actually managed to put all three in one and not ruin it.
Yeah, I mean, they did an excellent. I mean, everything's so balanced. You're not sitting at the tabletop for long periods of time. You're not having to play the dice.
What's wrong with that?
Well, I mean, like in a video game, I could see why it was getting kind of boring. But I mean, it's so balanced in how much you're spending in each one.
Fair enough.
And each challenge mission is so drastically different. So it's going to change how you play the game completely. I believe there's 20 challenges that you go through. Each one takes anywhere from 30 minutes to 2 hours, depending on how lucky you are.
So it's not really like if you wanted to just put it up for a while, like you can be in the middle of a challenge and do that.
Yeah, because if you leave the game, you have to start over. So there's 20 challenges, and within those 20 challenges, there's tons of specialized card challenges. So I mean, you could sink at least 100 hours into this game trying to get everything, all the weapons, all the cards. So it's definitely a game that you're going to spend a lot of time on if you enjoy all of that. So,
which if you enjoy RPGs and tabletop games, that's nothing.
Yeah, I mean, 100 hours, that's nothing. That's
child's play. That's a weekend.
Yeah, that's a weekend. So definitely pick it up. It's $29.99. They do have Hand of Fate 1 out.
It's pretty good, the first one.
The first one is really good. The second one, definitely, it's got a little bit more to it. So I would highly suggest both of the games. You can get them on Steam and PlayStation 4, I believe. But definitely get it on Steam because you can see like everything just looks really crisp on it. So until next time, guys, keep on playing some video games. Bye.